the meantime, on the Republican side, what the Republicans know is they know for a fact that one of this administration's biggest problems is the border. And Kamala Harris is, for the most part, the co-pilot to the President of the United States. So yesterday, the Republicans sponsored essentially, they had a vote on whether or not to condemn Kamala Harris and her work on the border. And it was pretty much unanimous on the Republican side. But then you had 6 Democrats join the Republicans because obviously they're concerned about the border. But then again, they also live in districts where Donald Trump won. So it's problematic for them.
They've also released, the Democratic Party has released, or the campaign released these talking points. We got a copy of it, and it's a sheet of paper. There's a picture of it. It looks like the talking points that Joe Biden pulls out of his jacket when he's going to pressers. But it says these are the talking points. When she's attacked for being the border czar, for her role at the border, for trying to dig out the root causes, this is what you should say to the media.
So the top one is the key.
Just for the record, we weren't supposed to get a copy of these talking points. This was just supposed to be for the legislators and the surrogates. And as you can see at the very top of the list, they're saying that she was never the border czar.
It was invented by Republicans.
That's just an easy title. Her title was, though, to go and figure out the root causes. So everyone called her the border czar. That was what she was assigned to do. And remember, when she was assigned, she didn't really talk about it. We all assumed she didn't really want this job, that Joe Biden was throwing the border on her.
So as soon as those talking points came out, we started to hear people say them pretty much verbatim.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah, watch this.
But it's a totally legitimate issue. She was put in charge of the border.
Nope. She was put in charge of reaching out to the South and Central American countries to stem the immigration.
Now what she's up against is folks lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
The Biden team didn't declare her the border czar.
Republicans named her the border czar.
Do you think that the border would be less of a talking point now if there was less migration to the border, say if somebody had addressed root causes of migration sooner?
We are going to debunk the false characterization of the vice president. She was not a border czar. And it's not just us. Independent fact checkers have said the same thing, that did not exist, and that is not true.
This is just another area in which they don't want you to believe your ears or your eyes. They told us Joe Biden was fine. They told us he was going to finish the race. We watched the debate, and then it all fell apart. Now they want us to say that even though the border's collapsed, it's an absolute mess. It's, along with Afghanistan, the biggest blight in their administration. So we have to remove it from Kamala Harris's portfolio by telling everyone we never said it. The problem is you did. Listen.
Asked her, the VP today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
Well, we are going to the border. We have to deal with what's happening at the border. There's no question about that. That's not a debatable point.
How did you decide that right now was the right time to make your first trip to the border?
Well, it's not my first trip. I've been to the border many times.
As the person in charge of the response.
So, the important aspect of this visit is leading this visit after the work that we did in Guatemala and Mexico.
Right, exactly.
It's just hilarious.
So keep in mind, so Brian, as you started to talk a little bit about clearly this is a big liability for her because she is tied to Joe Biden. So let's all get on the same page. She was in charge only of the root causes. But as president, she's going to be in charge of the root causes of inflation, of root causes of crime and root causes of job loss. So if for them to say she was never in charge of the whole border, she was in charge of the fundamental problem on what was feeding people into the country.
The White House's position right now, and you'll see this from Alejandro Mayorkas and all of the surrogates right now, is that the border is going great right now. That the crossings are down, even though it's the summer, even though it's Texas that is enforcing it and they've rerouted to Arizona and California, everything. Why wouldn't you, if it's going so well, why wouldn't you want Kamala Harris to take credit for it? They know it's not going so well. And this is what I keep saying. I don't buy this whole ridiculous notion that they also pushed out that Donald Trump is somehow afraid to debate her. She is going to be confronted with all of these issues on a debate stage.
Well, the problem is she was in charge of the border. She rejected it. She didn't want to do it. So they said, I'll only do the root causes. CNN, one of their reporters, he's putting Vice President Kamala Harris in charge of this. That was in 2021. You have Ashley Parker. She is the unofficial border czar. Maura Gillespie. There's been so much criticism against Kamala Harris, but she was the border czar. Ron Filipowski, MSNBC. Kamala Harris was appointed as the border czar. She, after a while, couldn't do the job, didn't want to do the job, so she said, I'm only doing the root causes. Unlike Vice President Biden, who actually took the job from the assignment from Barack Obama and did it.
They said the border is secure. They never acknowledged there was a problem. The president didn't go down there. Kamala went maybe once, and not even to an area that was seeing the most problems, the most encounters. And then they realized Lawrence is doing diners. Everyone in the diner is saying my number one issue is either inflation or it's immigration. Right. Then the polls showed the number one issue was either inflation or immigration for people. Then they say, oh, we need to change the policy down at the border. 3.5 years in, they just did that a month ago. So they acknowledged finally there was a problem because they saw the polls. Same thing they did with Joe Biden. He's fine. These are deep fakes. This is the left. This is the right media. This is Fox News. This is all of the conservatives. They're editing these videos of him. He really is not wandering off when he's, visiting other countries. He's not really falling on the stairs. Those are just edited videos. Then we see the debate, and the curtain is pulled back. And then they decide to change the candidate.
What you're
this is how they operate.
is the flat-out lies. It's like just gaslight. Nothing to see here. And then when the American people see it for themselves, it becomes the issue, and they just pivot to the next issue.
But didn't Jay Johnson read those talking points?
Yes, I'm so glad that you said it.
I'm looking at this sheet here. It's the same thing he told you, Steve. He was reading. It's like, oh, she was never in charge of the border. When Jay Johnson did a very good job on the border, he was engaged. He was firing people. He was going down there. He said 1,000 a day is a huge problem. Now we're looking at 3,000. But then he gets this sheet because Kamala Harris is responsible. Come on.
He was our guest a day or two before the sheet came out. So I don't know who whispered in his ear.
Well, before we got the sheet.
Yeah, before we got it. Yeah, believe me.
Aren't y'all frustrated, though, with what's happening behind the scenes? This is all orchestrated.
Of course, it's
They're not being honest with us.
No.
Well,
There's no transparency.
They're being very effective because they got the word out and everybody's out
Steve,
there saying
I don't think the American people are buying it.
No.
I think that they're
They're
much
smarter than this.
They're so much smarter than this.
They're sick of this. They can't trust what's happening in Washington.
Exactly